The recent arrest of human rights activist, journalist, and political figure Omoyele Sowore has ignited a wave of outrage across Nigeria. Labor unions, political coalitions, human rights organizations, and notable public figures are condemning what they describe as an escalating assault on civil liberties and democratic governance. At the forefront of this backlash are the Nigeria Labour Congress (NLC) and the Coalition of United Political Parties (CUPP), both of which issued strongly worded statements warning that Nigeria risks sliding back into the dark days of military-style dictatorship if dissent continues to be crushed through state power. On Wednesday, Sowore was reportedly picked up by police operatives during a public engagement in Abuja. Witnesses allege that during the arrest, he was physically assaulted, resulting in what supporters say may be a fractured hand. This is not the first time Sowore has found himself in the crosshairs of Nigerian law enforcement. Joe Ajaro, president of the NLC, minced no words in his condemnation, calling Sowore's arrest and alleged assault a blatant violation of constitutional rights. "We must resist any attempt to turn Nigeria into a police state where fear replaces freedom." The NLC leader further noted that freedom of expression and peaceful protest are non-negotiable pillars of democracy, and any government willing to trample on these rights is setting a precedent for unchecked authoritarianism. The Coalition of United Political Parties, represented by National Secretary Chief Peter Amef, echoed similar sentiments. CUPP called the arrest a blatant abuse of police power, pointing to Section 39 of the 1999 Nigerian Constitution, which guarantees every citizen the right to freedom of expression without interference. Amef took it further, alleging nepotism within the police. CUPP claims one of the officers involved in the arrest has been rapidly promoted despite public controversy. Systemic corruption. They called for a public inquiry into the Nigeria police force's promotion and deployment processes. Violation of due process. CUPP stressed that Sowore should either be charged in court immediately or released unconditionally. The widening chorus of condemnation. Beyond the NLC and CUPP, several prominent organizations and figures have lent their voices. SERAP, Socioeconomic Rights and Accountability Project, demanded Sowore's immediate release, citing international human rights treaties to which Nigeria is a signatory. Shehu Sani, a former senator and human rights advocate, described the arrest as an ugly throwback to the worst days of political repression. Arua youth ambassadors issued a statement warning that such acts only deepen national division and mistrust in governance. Atiku Abubakar, former vice president, labeled the incident a shameful abuse of power and noted that the police cannot act as both prosecutor and judge in politically sensitive cases. For many observers, Sowore's ordeal is part of a disturbing pattern. 2019, arrested for calling for a nationwide protest tagged Revolution Now. Multiple detentions. He has faced charges ranging from treasonable felony to cyberstalking. Charges critics say are designed to silence dissent. Travel restrictions. Court orders have previously barred him from leaving Abuja, restricting his political and journalistic activities. In each case, human rights groups have accused the Nigerian government of weaponizing the security apparatus to intimidate political opponents. Why this case strikes a chord. Freedom of the press at stake. As the founder of a media outlet that thrives on investigative journalism, Sowore's arrest sends shockwaves through Nigeria's press community. If prominent journalists can be harassed without consequence, smaller, independent voices may be silenced entirely. Labor and civil society unity. The joint condemnation by both labor unions and political groups is unusual, signaling a growing consensus that core democratic freedoms are under threat. International implications. Nigeria's global reputation as a democratic state could be jeopardized, particularly among international investors, donors, and foreign governments concerned about governance and the rule of law. Nigeria's 1999 constitution clearly protects. Section 39, 1. Freedom of expression, including to hold opinions and receive and impart ideas without interference. Section 40, freedom of assembly and association. Civil rights lawyers argue that the repeated arrests of Sowore, often without swift charges or trials, breach these provisions. They also note that such acts may contravene the African Charter on Human and People's Rights, which Nigeria has ratified. Reactions on social media show a split between fear and defiance. While some Nigerians worry about speaking out, fearing reprisals, others see the incident as a rallying point for renewed activism. #FreeSowore quickly trended on X, formerly Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, with thousands of posts demanding his release. Civil society groups have vowed to stage peaceful protests in major cities if Sowore is not released within the week, seek legal redress through Nigerian courts and potentially through regional judicial bodies like the ECOWAS Court of Justice, push for reforms within the Nigeria police force, particularly in accountability, promotions, and operational independence from political interference. Final thoughts. The arrest of Omoyele Sowore is not an isolated incident, but rather a litmus test for Nigeria's commitment to democratic principles. It raises uncomfortable questions. Can a nation truly call itself democratic if dissenters are routinely jailed? What message does this send to the next generation of Nigerian journalists, activists, and politicians? For now, the pressure is on the Nigerian government to either justify its actions within the framework of law or risk deepening the crisis of trust between the people and the state.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this update and want to stay informed with fast, reliable news, don't forget to subscribe to Newsflash 360. Hit the notification bell so you never miss a story. Your next headline is just seconds away.